we need to talk about my local CHL team, the Halifax Mooseheads. They just did something which has never been done in the QMJHL. So we've done lots of Mooseheads videos on this channel. Unfortunately, we actually didn't get out to any games this year. I promise that changes next year, but that was partially because the Mooseheads are on a pretty steep rebuild. In the Q and the other two CHL leagues, you've got short windows defined heavily by your 19 and 20-year-old players who obviously then age out and go play wherever. That's why in the CHL, when a team is in their narrow compete window, they'll trade sometimes 3 first-round draft picks for a single player. Afterwards, the team completely breaks it down, and that's where the Mooseheads were supposed to be this season. For the past couple of years, they've been loaded with talent. Mathis Rousseau is one of the best goaltenders in the CHL. He was traded away this year as part of the rebuild. Players like Jordan Dumais, now in the NHL, Josh Lawrence, Alexandre Doucette, they all aged out. Others like Matthew Catisfor, Marcus Vidicek traded. Safe to say, expectations were very low for this year, and in the regular season, the Mooseheads just barely snuck into the playoffs. They were the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, 16th overall in Q standings, so they were given a very difficult matchup against the Drummondville Voltigeurs, the previous season's Gilles Courteau Trophy winners. To say that the Mooseheads were underdogs is really underselling it. I think if you took 100 rational sports bettors and told them to bet on this series, even with the odds, not a single one would have picked the Mooseheads. In fact, not a single 16th ranked playoff team in QMJHL history has ever won 3 games in a series. Certainly, they've never won one. But wouldn't you know it, a team full of essentially draft picks and rebuilding pieces ended up grabbing the first 2 games away as Halifax beat Drummondville 3-2 in both games, including an OT winner. They would drop the subsequent 2, getting beat down pretty bad, in fact, by Drummondville before taking Game 5, losing Game 6, and setting up a Game 7 where, honestly, first star of the series for Halifax, Jacob Steinman, ended up stealing the game with 38 saves on 38 shots. This is why junior hockey is so fun, but admittedly, things do not get any easier after this point. Halifax, having defeated Drummondville, now has to face the Rouen-Noranda Huskies. They had a total of 35 more regular season points than Halifax, but were technically ranked below Drummondville, so if Halifax could take down the top dog, well, who knows? Halifax is actually a bit lucky as the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, which has 10 teams versus 8 in the West. They ended up facing Drummondville instead of the even better Moncton Wildcats, who sit at top of the East. Moncton is an absolute wagon. They took the best pieces of the Mooseheads this season, including Marcus Vidicek, players like Logan Crosby, and of course Mathis Rousseau, in exchange for 20-year-old Jacob Steinman, and they beat the wheels off Quebec in 4 games. I mean, it wasn't quite as bad as the Rimouski-Charlottetown series, where Rimouski outshot Charlottetown 24-3 over the period of 4 games. Either way, the Mooseheads will be in for a very, very difficult second round, but just this has to be considered a success. The Mooseheads are coming off arguably an incredibly disappointing year last season, and what was a decent shot at not just the Gilles Courteau Trophy, but the Memorial Cup 2 years prior, where they lost to the eventual CHL champions, the Quebec Rampart. But that's all I've got. Let me know your thoughts on all this and more down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please drop a like, and if you want more content, there's a new basketball, football, and hockey video on screen right now. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.